All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, I got the marketing guru to the stars coming on here. Hello? Frank. Dang, man, you're supposed to be on the show. Okay, well, hurry up. All right, he had to take a health break, but he's going to be right here. Frank Klesitz, 4 blocks from the beach in San Diego, coming up next on Cliff's Notes. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. And we got the guarantee going on today. We're guaranteeing it, right, C3?
That's exactly right.
I got to tell you what, man, we have got a fireball on the show today.
Frank is going to, I mean, it's inevitable. It's going to go great.
It's going to be like SpaceX launching. It's going to be a live view of SpaceX knocking it out of the park. Hey, before we get to Frank, though, let's check in with the venerable Travis Giles. Dr. Giles, how are you, sir?
I'm great. Cliff, how are you guys doing today?
Man, I'll tell you, it's just so refreshing to be here, and we've had so much rain, and I feel cleansed, and now my spirit and my mind is cleansed being up here with you. And how about yourself? Did you have a good Memorial weekend?
Oh, we did. We did enjoy some good barbecue. Did you guys eat good on Memorial Day as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Hey, what's the update on the Mavericks now? Are they still in?
You know what?
Last night.
They won last night. They took a 3-2 lead against the LA Clippers, so they are in pretty good position to go to the second round.
Gotta love it, LA. Well, not too far from LA, about an hour south, is where we're going to go right now. Let's see if we can bring Frank in. Frank, how are you, sir? Man, you look like you're in a little bit of a fog there. There we go. Had to get that autofocus caught up. It's good to see you, my friend. Long time, man. We haven't supped together and broken bread, and it's been a month of Sundays at least, I think, hasn't it?
I remember when EXP was just starting, and you had a meeting down here in Coronado, where I live, at the Marriott.
That's
you were
right.
Just getting involved.
That was Lars's intensive.
That's right.
That's right, at the Coronado down there. That's exactly right. Yeah, Real Estate B School. Dear friend of ours, Lars Hedenborg. Yeah, that's been, golly, man, that's been 4.5 years ago. Do you believe that? Unbelievable. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, you've been leaving a wake behind you, man. You just keep cruising down about 100 miles an hour down the river, and it's hard to keep up with you. So we were talking in the beginning of the show. By the way, I hope you like that intro. I just happened to, that was a little spontaneous fun there. But, you and I were talking with C3 before the show about your arrangements there in San Diego. And I think it would be kind of cool for the audience to hear. I mean, you're very well known running the right circles and stuff, and obviously San Diego is a pretty cool place to be, but what kind of setup do you have there, my friend?
I was out here for a training event when I was 27. It was a Mike Ferry conference. And I came to San Diego. I'm like, people live like this? It's beautiful. It's amazing. So I went and looked at a condo, and they said the rent was $3,500 a month. I was just beginning to make some money. I think I was making about a little over maybe 120 grand a year or so, like just kind of getting my own business going at 27. And I looked at this, I'm like, I can afford this. I can afford this condo, 30% of your income. So I leased it. I canceled my return flight. I hired my friend to drive all my stuff down, and I haven't left. And I've been here for about 9 years. After having 2 kids, living in a condo downtown doesn't work that well. So my wife looked over the harbor and saw the island of Coronado. And she worked the Facebook groups to find a place that we could lease here. So we leased it from 2 Navy admirals. We're about 4 blocks from the beach. So I'm working from my home office right now. But the kids are going to school, and they're preschool, kindergarten. I don't think we want to buy a home, and the homes here are ridiculously expensive. So we actually are going to move to Tennessee, believe it or not.
But totally out of the blue. To Tennessee, and where you're in Tennessee.
We just south of Nashville. It's actually just south of Franklin, actually. Excuse me, in Williamson County. And we ended up signing a contract to build a home out there. but it's not done for a year. And I want to share something with the audience today that, you hear all these marketing tips that you can use to generate your own business, but sometimes you use these things for yourself. The home won't be done for a year. And at the time of this recording, we're going to move there to get the kids in school for the fall to get them stable. So we need a place to live. So we were thinking about maybe renting an apartment or something like that, or 2 apartments for an office to work or whatever, because my wife and I both work from home. And I said, hey, Katie, I got an idea for you. It's my wife. Why don't I go on into PropStream or Property Radar or Remine or whatever and go draw, where do you want to get a house right now? Maybe we can fix and flip it or improve it. I don't know. Who knows? Let me send a letter out to see if I can find something off market. Because finding something on market is just completely impossible in the area that we want to live in right now, let alone be in a buying frenzy and paying stupid over asking price, right? Given the market.
Insane.
So I pulled a list of about 320 or so houses in the little neighborhood that we wanted. And I opened up my Microsoft Word processor, and it started something like this. Dear First Name Merge on the title record. I know this is a super strange letter to get from a random family out of the blue, but would you have any interest in selling Mergefield property address? I'm originally from Nebraska and moved to California. It was just a terrible decision. And we're like the grapes of wrath in reverse, going back to where common sense prevails. So wanted to know if you had any interest. I'm an expat coming out to live in Tennessee with my family, and wanted to know if you wanted to maybe just sell directly to me. Here's a little more about me. Here's my background, yada, yada, yada. Give me a call. And on the second page, I went through Facebook and just grabbed a bunch of pictures of our family and threw it on the second page. So they kind of knew who we were, right? So I mailed it out, and we actually got quite a few phone calls. But one phone call was from an agent saying, how fast can you close? Because this family needs to be out of here in a week. And they have offers, but they don't close for a long period of time because they're contingent or whatever. And I said, hey, we've been fortunate. We do real estate investing. We have a line of credit. So we can throw the whole house a line of credit. And we can close next week. So the home is worth, I would say $600,000, probably all fixed up. We got it under contract for $475,000. It's a 5-bed, 3-bath, and we're going to walk into about $120,000 of equity, and we're going to live there for a year. It's probably going to appreciate, and then we'll sell it and move into our new houses, all from one letter, from using the skill of marketing.
This is so frank. I mean, I've known you for 10 years now, and you just don't swim upstream with the rest of the salmon. You will get up and walk across the bridge over the river rather than do what everybody else does. That is phenomenal. What a great, you just thought of that. What a genius thing.
I did. I was just like, again, I had to risk $300 on a mailing. But I was like, you know what? I could sit down, I could write a letter and send it out, and we'll see. Who knows? But literally, someone got it, and the family needed the money because the homes already went up so much. They owed much less than $425,000. They didn't care. Right. So they still walked away with the check because they probably owed less than that. But they needed an all-cash closing fast. They couldn't wait for everyone else, and they took our offer, and because they needed to move. Wow. And the agent got paid. The agent double-ended it.
Right.
Because the agent called us.
What a beautiful thing. Isn't that something? Now, your wife is in real estate.
Yeah, she originally was an agent. We got married, and then she stayed at home taking care of the kids. And 2 years ago, she decided to get back into real estate. But we decided to go down a different path where she's a full-time real estate investor buying single-family and apartment buildings, using some of the money that the relationships I built over the years, building Vyral, to help to acquire them. In the past 2 years, she's gone from 15 single-family that I started buying when I was 20. And now we almost have 100. We're probably about 95 houses. Yeah. We buy in Waco, Texas, Killeen, Omaha, Nebraska, San Antonio, and probably send out about 50,000 letters a month. We just started radio ads. But all these things, Cliff, that you and I have picked up over the years, over attending and, watching shows like this and listening to podcasts and going to masterminds and getting involved and going out. And I have 10 years of knowledge of the nuances of real estate, lead conversion, appointment setting, how to pay everyone, morning huddles, the books we've read, that whole culture that we've been through. I was able to apply it. I was able to take, I'm proud of this, Gary Keller's Red Book, the Millionaire Real Estate book. I was able to apply the principles and concepts. The Old Testament, yeah, I'll call it that.
Right.
I was able to take that and apply it to the blue book of the millionaire real estate investor.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fascinating. There's a lot about you, and I'm really glad you're on the show because every time I see you, your heart is all about helping real estate agents, and it's always about the other
I love my
person.
job.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell you have a lot of passion about what you do. I mean, that's why, when I needed some help, you're the first person I called and said, "Hey, man, I need help here." And you work with some of the top agents on a consistent basis in the country. I mean, we're not talking this ain't no slappy here, right? I mean, this guy is.
Yeah, there's about 500 clients at Vyral, and many of them are the top real estate agents in the country. And our job is to grab their database and send stuff out that gets them business,
Right.
which is a blend of nice, helpful, educational stuff like you're doing here, and direct offers for response, which if people stick around, I'll give you one today.
So we were talking about this before the show. You've got a nice little gift for people if they'll hang around here for a little bit. At the end of the show, you're gonna give them something that could potentially turn into a nice fat check for them.
Yeah,
right?
it's an email to send out to your database for a giveaway that will get the phone to ring like that.
Boom. I need one of those. I'll be here until the end of the show. I can promise you. Okay. All right. This is really so fascinating, and I'm glad we had this time here because I want to go back a little bit. I want to talk about younger Frank because you were saying that when you were in your 20s, you moved to San Diego and stuff like that. And give us, what was it like growing up? Like, what were your teenage years like? Just briefly, yeah.
Very fortunate. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, with a very solid middle-class family. My parents were jazz musicians. My father went to the Berklee College of Music to study bass guitar, and my mother is a vocalist. And they played jazz on the weekends at country clubs for weddings and stuff like that. And then for the careers, my mom is a fifth grade band teacher for 30 years. She taught fifth graders band, like clarinet.
I played clarinet.
And
I did, yeah.
I played clarinet too. Clarinet too.
Yeah.
And my father was an insurance agent. So I just had a simple upbringing, very good parents. And I just kind of fell into, at 17, 18, I would kind of leave all my friends that were out kind of, drinking or just being stupid. And I'd go to Borders. Remember Borders?
Borders books.
I'd go to Borders and I would sit in the business section and just grab everything and just sit back and read. That's what I would do at like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I fell kind of in love with the idea of financial freedom and building my own business and what can I do with my life? I'm young and where's my life going to go? And I started reading books by Seth Godin, Dan Kennedy, and Jay Abraham. And I'm like, oh, this is some good stuff. And I probably would say addiction would be close to the word of it. I ended up checking all of it out and reading it and decided I wanted to go into real estate. And I had a real estate training because we don't really have much. It's a great way to build a business. We don't really have something to sell. You go into real estate. It's kind of like a good catch-all for entrepreneurs who don't necessarily know exactly what they want to do, but it attracts an entrepreneur individual. You follow me?
Absolutely.
So I went to a training, and they're like, oh, you need to have a 33 touch for your database. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Got to stay in touch with people when they want to buy or sell. So I asked the trainer, I'm like, what do you even have as an option? And they're like, oh, we have those junk mail. I was like, I don't think we should send junk mail out to the database. And that's kind of where the idea for Vyral was formed, to make videos. And I kind of came up with that deal. It was about maybe 22. And it wasn't until maybe about 24, 25, probably right when we first met, I was like, I think there's a market for this around the country. So I started just signing up to go to every single real estate event where a client was at, and the client would introduce me to other clients. So that was my youth. I went to an all-male high school, I went to a Jesuit all-male high school.
Yeah.
Creighton Prep. Yep. And then I graduated from University of Nebraska with an entrepreneur degree, business with specialization in entrepreneurship.
Wow. Okay. So they had an entrepreneur concentration in the
specialization. Yeah.
Yeah.
I earned Entrepreneur of the Year 2 years in a row at the college.
At the college, what was your side hustle while you were in school?
It was actually a personal training business. I was actually a personal fitness trainer.
Wow.
And I fell in love with generating the lead and getting the client and charging, let's say, 80 or 100 a session, and then giving it to the trainers that didn't know how to get their own business for like 30 or 40 a session, and then I made the spread. So I had about 6 trainers working for me in college where I would go off and sell the training. I owned like OmahaPersonalTrainer.com. I think I still do. And I would generate the leads. I would buy like Yellow Pages ads. I had a billboard on the main road in college that was pretty cool. And I would auction myself off at colleges or at private schools during the annual gala when like they would bring everyone together in tuxes to raise money. They would bring me on stage at night, and I would auction off 36 free training sessions with the oral auctioneer. Like,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
in the room could hear about me to all the affluent in Omaha.
That's huge.
And that's how we got our clients. And then I would basically do what a real estate team does, is kind of get the business and hand it off to an agent. I would get the business and hand it off to a trainer.
That's wild. Most
And
kids that enter
that collapsed in like
yeah.
that collapsed in like 07, 08. And that was right around the time I decided to get into real estate.
Interesting. Most kids are thinking about, a landscape business, right? Or something like that. And here you are out,
I'll tell you something. I was 18 years old, and a gym hired me as a trainer. I looked a little older, and I acted a little older than my age. I don't think if I told my age that I hired me. But I had my personal training certification, a correspondence course. So I'm 18 years old. And I'm like, where are my clients? And they're like, you have to get them. I'm like, how the hell do you do that? And so my career begins. You know what I mean? So this is the first thing I did. Naturally. I said, do you have a list of all the members in affluent zip codes that aren't coming into the gym? And they're like, huh? Like, yeah, do you have a list of all the members that pay to be here that live like in these zip codes where I know where all the money is and aren't coming in? So they wouldn't print it off a list. Got the list. Started calling. Hey, it's Frank. I'm a new trainer at the gym. You're not coming in. Why not? Great. Get your ass in here. I'm going to work out with you for a free session. Killed it. Just started calling everyone. Tell them to come on in here.
Wow.
And I sold the most training in the history of the club doing that at 19. And they sent me down to a Tommy Hopkins event at the Princess in Scottsdale. And I came back and was able to train like all at 19 or 20, training all the trainers and like how to sell from what I learned from like Tom Hopkins. I convinced the owner to send me down on a trip to learn sales because I brought in so much money.
Wow.
One of the things that we did, there were 3 packages. I'm sorry, Sharon, you're bringing back good memories. You're asking me interesting stuff. There were 3 packages of training. There was a gold, silver, and bronze. Let's say $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for a package of sessions. And everyone was buying the middle package. And I wanted to sell the big one. Follow me? But everyone was buying the middle. So I go to the manager, I go to the boss, I said, hey, can I go and learn Photoshop? So I learned Photoshop. And can I redesign this thing to make a platinum package, a 4th package? And we'll make it like, I don't know, $7,000, something stupid, ridiculous. No one's going to buy it, right? Just so people buy the big one, right? So I printed it off and I did it. I took it to a sales presentation. Very first sales presentation with it, sold the platinum package. Sold it. Went back to the manager. He's like, I don't even have a code for this. You know what I mean? And they printed it.
That's pretty funny.
That is wild. That is really wild. But what's important, I think, if there's something to get out of this, C3. I mean, you'll be 26 this month, right?
This month,
2 weeks,
couple of weeks.
The 18th, born on.
I was
Father's
right the
Day.
age. I said I flew to San Diego and canceled my return flight and did my thing.
You don't want him to go to San Diego for sure. But, can you relate, right? I mean, here you are looking at Frank now, right? And the things that he was going through at your age. I mean, you've had a little bit of an unusual,
upbringing,
launch into the real estate business.
Oh, yeah.
Not everybody gets this opportunity to.
Not at all.
At your age to do what you're doing. And pretty cool stuff. But, just that. And I think what's really resonating with me, Frank, is, people. I don't know if we're born, there's a gene, an entrepreneur gene or what, but it sounds like that what really lit your fire was when you started reading things. You had to go out of your way to learn about business. In other words, you couldn't just stay where you were. You had an appetite that was insatiable. You had to go to Borders books. You weren't getting it in school. And then as soon as you found it, man, you just developed like you said, an addiction or a,
it was an addiction. It was an addiction or obsession.
Okay. Did you have all of
those? I wanted it
tapes?
so badly. I think I started with eBay. I think I would type in the authors in the eBay, and people were like kind of hawking some of their old tapes and CDs from like Tony Robbins and Dan Kennedy and those guys.
For sure. Yeah.
Follow me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had those too.
And
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's what I did. And
all right. Let me ask you this. What's the most impactful, or the one that the book, the classic that impacted
I got to tell you,
the most?
man, I say this today. I've read hundreds of business books. It might even be over 1,000. That seems ridiculous, but it's definitely in over 500. And I really have to say the number one that stuck to me, and I got to give him credit, is Gary Keller's Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. He wrote a book that teaches you how to scale a professional service. It's not even really about real estate. It was the fact that it kind of gave me these models and the foundations to scale a profession. I consider the MREA book my 1040, which is my tax return. This is this is one of those things, like if I'm running for office, I would never say like in front of the. It's like, you have your 1040, put all these K1s on it. You guys know what I'm talking about? But that's kind of how I see it. Of like the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book is like my 1040 tax return that made sense of everything and brought it together, where I could take all these other ideas and hang them on the lattice work of theory and models that were put in Gary Keller's book that helped me understand everything. And when I read that and I was able to kind of bring it all together, it really was very impactful to me, and it gave me a plan of how to build a professional firm. And to this date, I still have yet to find a book on Amazon that teaches you how to build and scale a professional services firm, which plays by different rules, than a business and many other types of things.
There's your calling. There's your
Yeah,
calling,
you got to write
Frank.
that, Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. Professional services is where you start off doing the work to graduate to management to end up in sales. You end up in sales. Like all their businesses, you throw your salespeople in to start.
We teach, well, you're familiar with the income pyramid. You get good at your trade, then you manage, and then leadership is where the wealth is really created. So when you say sales, I agree with you, but leadership is also sales. I mean, if you're a leader and you don't have the ability to sell, then you can't sell your vision. Wouldn't you agree with that?
It's influence. I would say, I say sales has a negative connotation. I would say it's influence, leadership. That's what it is.
Yeah.
We have to build your influential skills, your persuasion skills. Oh, okay.
All right.
Sales. Yeah.
All right. So now, just to be clear, your business is, you work with all brokerages. You're a broker agnostic. You don't care. You're there to help the agent. That's your gig. In fact, agents are your biggest clients, not the brokers themselves. It's the individual agent.
It's the rainmaker. Whoever's bringing in the business, whoever needs to bring in the business. Vyral Marketing sells the marketing services at a very entry level, at least in the larger, in real estate, it's probably high level in the real estate niche. We're probably one of the expensive options. But in the world of advertising agencies or professional advertising marketing services, it's very inexpensive.
Right.
And our goal is just to get them on a blog and get videos out and start staying in touch with the list. Because most of our customers, when I ask you this main question, like, what are you doing to stay in touch with the database? It's either nothing, or it's very inconsistent, or they're kind of embarrassed by like the canned crap they're sending out.
Right.
So we step in and solve that problem.
Right. So it started at the 33, at that coaching session where they were talking about 33 touch, and then you sort of embellished upon that. Video at that time, though, was not as ubiquitous as it is now. Video's everywhere now. We didn't have Instagram back then.
Yeah, we were mailing out flip cameras. Remember the flip camera?
I remember when I first started working with you. You sent me this damn Kodak, whatever it was, camera. That was the best technology they had back then.
It was the flip camera, but it had a microphone input.
That's right. Yeah. I remember very well. So let me just see if I'm trying to pre-frame this, because I want people to understand that at the core, you've always been doing the same thing. You just use different tools now as tools become available to enhance what you do. In other words, you still, when you have to match the message to the market, that's still the same thing. You've got to be really good at you and I talk about this a lot. And the advice that you would have for people who are looking at hiring somebody to help with marketing is, and you talked about this on the call that I was on with you yesterday, is that you can never outsource the writing of the content. You can get help with it, but the content, because you're at the core of the business, that has to really come from your client, right? And in fact, you interviewed me. We were reworking something that I'm doing, and you said, I'm not going to even attempt to do this. I need you. I need to get on the phone with you. And so let's talk through that process a little bit about, because there's so many people that put up a flag on their door and say, I'm a social media guru, a marketing guru, and so forth. Give us the down and dirty, man. What is the stuff that, what's the stuff that people really need to watch out? You know, what's the cleanest dirty shirt in the laundry right now? You know, I mean, what do we need to look for?
So first off, I changed my microphone. Do I sound better?
You did? You
tell
sound
the difference?
great. Yeah, sound fine.
Okay, perfect. Just making sure I sound good.
Yeah.
Personally for me, in marketing, you usually create like different personas of people. I run from what I would call the persona of Instagram girl. This is probably the most common thing that I run into of hiring social media, is someone who got very popular on social media, publishing pictures and making social media updates and, you know, getting likes and followers on social media. And if somebody comes in and interviews as that, I'm like, oh no, no, you don't understand business. Nope, you are not running my social media. Okay. That would be on like one end of the spectrum. I'd facetiously fund like Instagram girl. All right. You could also be Instagram guy by all means too. All right. So on the other end of the spectrum is I probably have one of my best salespeople that has been to conferences, that has been belly to belly, that has got contracts signed, that has asked for money, and has brought in revenue by really nailing the message that the prospect wants to hear, so they sign on the line that is dotted. And that salesperson is like, you know, I really have a creative side to me that has never been expressed. That's the key word. I have a creative side that's never been expressed. I don't know if I want to be banging out phone calls. I don't know if I want to be banging out leads with the sales team. But I really like the idea of doing webinars, Frank. I really like the idea of public speaking. I really like the idea of maybe writing a letter and like being in charge of the lead generation as opposed to the selling. What do you think? Whew, that's your marketer. Got it? Your best marketer comes up through sales, okay, that has a creative side of their brain that has not been fully expressed yet. Sound good? Because they know the needs of the market. So one of the things we talk about in marketing is it is the most difficult position to hire for. So you'll probably start by hiring an executive assistant. Great. You'll probably hire some account managers to babysit the client or the customer, right? Give them weekly updates. You'll probably hire an HR person. You know, not a big deal. You'll probably hire a financial person. You'll probably hire some ISAs, like some people that follow up with, you know, the demand already coming in to set the appointments. Or maybe you hire some telemarketers to Neanderthal their way through to find some leads, right? And then maybe you hire a salesperson that over time, it's pretty much the same hour pitch over and over to sign people up. This is really how it works. The real engine that drives all of this is the marketing, is the message. And you as the CEO will find that as the most difficult thing to outsource. If you hire somebody that's not been belly to belly with their sellers, or just consumers, hasn't actually sold something, hasn't been to the events, hasn't actually sold, that's the person you charge in marketing. Even better, I tell all my staff at Vyral they'll never be as good as me, ever. Give up. No. No. Don't even insult me by saying that you'll be as good as me at my job, ever. And let me tell you why. Because I spend my own money. And something magic happens when you're spending your own money on the radio ads, when you're spending your own money to go to a conference to get clients, when you're spending your own money on the lead generation. Something magical. I don't know. You might have to go hire some scientists to study this, Cliff. But you learn more. It becomes in your DNA. You really start to understand the craft, right? So your holy grail of a marketing person is somebody who has somehow managed to spend their own money on learning their own hard marketing lessons, and they come up through sales. That person's probably the CEO, and they end up running the marketing. When you try to delegate marketing to somebody that hasn't spent their own money to figure things out, that's read some books or has gotten some likes, or you try to delegate someone that's never actually sold anything to your target market, oh, do it. And when you fail, I'll come in and buy the business and turn around and make a huge profit. Please call me. I will starting a private equity company for CEOs who have tried that. I will be happy to buy your business.
It
and
sounds
turn
like
around.
you're describing the new Coke or something here. It's like.
So those are my thoughts on marketing. It is the most difficult thing to outsource.
Okay, so hold on here. I mean, I really like this. Let's just dig in and see if we can turn over some rules of the business, because all the coaches and everybody preach that there are 3 key hires and your main goal is to step out of your business. What I'm hearing, no. Okay, all right. Well, that must have hit the funny bone. What prompted that reaction from you?
You can't. You step out of probably out of doing the deliverable, but you're always running it.
Right.
When I say step out of your business, you'll probably have death by meeting.
What about marketing though? Is that what? How you can't step out of marketing, can you?
No. Show me someone who has. Haven't seen it. Haven't seen it. I mean, you talked about Dan Beer coming out over there.
Yeah.
He's still in his own videos. He's still making the videos on social media. His name's still on everything. I bet you when it comes down before he spends his 40, 50 grand on a radio buy, he's not delegating the message on the radio ad to Instagram girl. He's sitting down and he knows the market. Are we clear on this? He knows the message. And he's going to sit down like that heart surgeon. And think about the heart surgeon. You have heart surgery. You have all the prep work and all the people and the assistant surgeons. And you make your 100 grand or whatever it is. They come in and do this little 15-minute thing and you leave. Follow me? That's the message. The message is that little piece of heart surgery you will not be able to get rid of. And if you do, you'll fail. Because no one that works for you will know the market as good as you, because they haven't invested their own money in trying to figure out how to make sales.
So do you know
Straight
how
up.
many people watching this show, that's their primary goal? And if they really got what you just said, how much time you're going to save them and how much energy and effort and
Yes.
how you're going to save them from.
It's a nice pipe dream. So here's the deal. You can step out of the deliverable. Let's be clear. I don't think you step out of a business. That's naive. You can step out of the deliverable. You can hire people to fulfill the product and to do the service. I've done it at Vyral. You don't work with me directly for anything at Vyral. The sales team, the consultations, the account managers, the billing, the support. There's 50 employees at the firm running everything. But I meet with my marketing manager. As of like last week, it was still daily, going through what events we're going at, what's the message. Like, the emails I send out, I still write those. My job is to create demand, and the rest of the staff fulfills it. And you create demand by probably buying media or in getting the messaging right, because my job is to talk to the market, go to masterminds, talk to customers. What do you need? And making sure that whatever you need, whatever you demand, the messaging that I supply just hits it like a puzzle piece and fits perfectly.
Your perfect customer, Frank?
I would say it's the entrepreneurs of the profession. So take any profession, there's going to be the entrepreneur of it. They want to build it, they want to grow it, they want something more, and they're willing to take risk. Follow me? Most people in most professions, you're going to ask them, do you want to grow their business? They're going to say yes. I'm going to say, well, what are you doing? And so I work by referral only. What that means is I don't want to take risk. Got it? So I have to talk to probably I don't know what the number is, but let's just say in real estate, where it attracts a lot of entrepreneurs, the profession. Got it? I think there's only, I may be wrong, but there's only 25,000 agents in America that do more than, say, 25 deals a year. And I don't know, how many realtors are there? 1.5 million? So you're
1.4, yeah.
fishing, and chances are if you're doing about 2 deals a month, you're making a decent living. So there's only 25,000. That takes the market down 97% of it. You don't even address. So now you have 3% of the market. I'm looking for the people that will take the risk to maybe hire an assistant, or take the risk to, I don't know, spend money on marketing that hopefully generates lead. That's a very rare person. It's risk. Humans are very risk adverse, right? And that rainmaker, that entrepreneur, the profession, I'm going to go to those people and say, you want to do something really crazy? Like, think how crazy this is. I want you to get on video, and I want you to take everybody in your Gmail, everybody in your Outlook, everybody in your CRM, everyone that you've known your entire life, and I want you to send a video of you public speaking out to everyone. Said no one ever wanted to do ever.
For sure.
That's my market. The people that I challenge them with that, saying, yeah, that's where I need to grow. That, you start off, I want my target, I work with excellent communicators and leaders who are entrepreneurs of the profession that want to grow and take risk. You start off communicating belly to belly, face to face. You get full feedback from the person because you have the nonverbal cues and the verbal cues, and you're selling, Brian Buffini style, like, Popeyes. Sound good? But then you realize, man, that's really inefficient. I want to step it up. I'm going to make a phone call. Okay, more efficient, but arguably not as effective in the moment because you don't get full feedback from the person. You don't have the nonverbal feedback. So you're doing phone calls. You're like, oh man, I want to step up my game. I'm going to do a seminar. Ooh, I'm going to do a workshop. Speak better. I'm now going to get a bunch of people in the room. I'm going to go from one to one to one to many. And now I'm going to do a public speaking event, like let's say at an event. Then you're like, okay, that was cool. But okay, what if I did a webinar? Okay, now you do a webinar. You notice how you go up the communication level, you get less and less feedback from people, right? Then you're at the highest level, you're like, I'm just going to get no feedback. I'm going to make a video. Or I'm going to get no feedback. I'm going to make a radio or TV ad. Or I'm going to get no feedback. I'm going to write a sales letter. It's completely terrifying. There is nobody you'll be able to find that can jump right to that level of be like LeBron James in messaging and communicating if they haven't kind of gone through those steps, right? So I always enjoy these internet marketing conferences, Cliff. They bring me so much joy. I don't know why, but I just feel so sorry for everyone in there. I'll go to Ryan Dice would have his traffic and conversion summit in San Diego. And I'll go in there, and everyone's trying to start their advertising digital agency, right? And they're all trying to do all this online purely stuff, which you can do, but none of them have sold a damn thing in their lives. They've never been belly to belly at the kitchen table selling something. They've never done any phone calls. They've never done telemarketing. They've never done lead follow-up. You know what I mean? None of them. And they're all trying to get rich with webinars and online marketing, and they're just all failing miserably. I'll never forget this. This is about 2 or 3 years ago at the conference. This is a big internet marketing conference. And Ryan, who's the CEO, is going through this whole keynote on the evolution of marketing. Okay? And at the end of the 90-minute presentation, the whole climax of the presentation was let me give you the future of marketing. Everyone's hanging on the edge of their seats. What's the next thing? We tried autoresponders. We did drip campaigns. We have chat bots, right? Okay, are you ready what he said? How many of you actually talk on the phone to your customers? Nobody in the whole conference raised their hand. And I'm like, where's my phone? I got to record this. This is amazing. And he says, the future of marketing is talking to your customers. And the whole room's like, whoa, crazy. Because they didn't come up through direct sales. They're trying to jump to the top level of marketing without working their way through the rungs.
Right. Wow, that's what a.
I kind of went on a tangent there, but
No, but I mean, the message that, I mean, if anybody who's watched this show from beginning to end is probably counting how many times their mind has been blown right now, because traditional thinking is obviously not what got you and your clients where we are. I mean, but it's understanding the nuances, and it's the little things. My dad always used to tell me that it's not the elephants that get you, it's the ants. And I think, Frank, you understand the ants better than anybody that I've ever met. And that's what is really cool about that. You're very unique in that ability, that discernment that you have to be able to know what how to help somebody, how to craft that right message. And that's what you do with us.
Copywriting, the best definition of copywriting, I'll share this with the audience. The best definition of like persuasive writing, right? You're writing an ad, you're writing an email, you're writing something to persuade some to take action. Mm-hmm. Marketing, advertising. The best definition is salesmanship in print.
I like
so you need to show me exceptional salesmanship of listening and having empathy and identifying needs and authenticity, real sales, not entry level, scammy sales, like real sales. Recommending solutions, overcoming objections, asking for the money, following up after the sale. Basics, right? You have to do that in print. That's the jump. And I don't know how you hire somebody to do marketing if they haven't come through sales.
Interesting. I mean,
it's rare. You don't find those people. That's why they're so expensive, is because those individuals are in low supply and high demand. And usually that's just the CEO.
Yeah. Interesting. A lot of I don't know that you can go to school and really get what you need. In marketing, they teach you a lot of numbers and theory and that kind of stuff. But, wisdom is something you don't get until you've been doing it for a while, right?
I would say I'm in charge of marketing, but I have a staff. I mean, I have video editors. I have people that will, edit my writing, because I write as fast. I think faster than I write, so there's errors all the time. I have people that can process the emails. I have people that can put it up on social media. I mean, a lot of that work is not that expensive. It's not that expensive for those things, right? What's expensive is, what do I say in the video? Or what do I say on the Facebook ad? Or what do I say in the email that goes out to everyone? Or what do I say on the landing page? If I went to my team, and I don't mean this in any disrespect in any way, they would just look at me with a blank stare. Like, we don't know. We haven't talked to the customers. We haven't been to the events. We haven't really know that depth of the need that how to speak to this. And I do. And that's my job.
Wow.
You know who knew that was Steve Jobs?
Yeah.
The whole thing with Jobs and Wozniak was like, Jobs was like, I don't care about the tech. I know what the consumer wants. Let me give you what the consumer wants. And he always led it that direction. He knew what the consumer wanted and didn't even know yet.
Right.
It's crazy.
No, he was more solutions driven than product driven, right? A lot of these tech companies.
And that's where I am too. And the thing is too, I tell my staff all the time, like our staff, our team, is that don't fall in love with Vyral. Don't fall in love with the product. Don't fall in love with what we do. It's really irrelevant. I want you to fall in love with the customer. Fall in love with the customer, and our product and service will evolve and change whatever it needs to be to solve that problem. So I always say Vyral is, I'll burn it all down. I'll change it. I'll move it all around. I don't care. It's not true. But like I say, I don't care about Vyral. I care about the client. That's what's important. And Vyral is just kind of this moving mass that's constantly just trying to make sure I meet their needs. That
was a great soundbite, by the way. Fall in love with the customer.
You fall in love with the customer. And one of the things I fight at Vyral all the time is, I never want Vyral to be like an internal facing company where it's like, oh, look at all these parties we have. Look at our Nerf guns. Look at how we have this great culture. Look at how everyone loves each other. Look at our company internally from our staff. I would burn that all down. I don't like any of that. The company needs to be externally focused, where don't care about the company. It's relevant to you. Come and do your job. Don't even talk to your coworkers. I only want you focused on the customer. I want everything external focused on giving the customer what they need and what they want, and that's how you're measured. Let's focus on that and not get pulled into being like internally focused so much. Do you feel me on that?
I do.
It's a culture feel,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, anyways.
That's wisdom right there. You have it. There you have it, my friends. Frank?
Well, I
hate to
see
say
it.
this.
It's like everyone's getting together and partying and having a great time, and they're all like, customer.
Right.
And I think that's why I'm a good marketer, is because at the end of this, I know I have to wrap up, but as I'm always trying to figure out where there is demand, I will supply, Cliff. Put it on my gravestone.
Where there is demand.
It's great for my wife. It's great for my relationships. Katie, what do you need?
Yeah.
Cliff,
Right.
you called me. You needed something. I supplied it, didn't I?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep. I will say that about this guy. That's for sure. Frank, it is about that. I can't believe how fast as oftentimes it goes.
Do I got to read the
here,
email
but-
really quick for people? Do
But
I have time?
yeah, I wanted to just take a minute here before we have our close, and you were going to reward our audience for hanging around to the bitter end here. What do you got for us?
Yeah. All right. So, let's say you need to get some. Okay. We all know that holding client events is a wonderful way to stimulate business. But who really wants? I mean, I don't want to hold an event. I don't want to get everyone together and hang out. I'm more of an introvert. All right. So we're going to hold an online event. And we're just, instead of you having to call people or them how to show up, they're going to show up to you. And we're going to do that by doing a giveaway. So what you're going to do is you're going to give away a Yeti cooler, a Traeger grill, something $500 of value or less. And you're going to send an email to your whole database saying, hey, it's summertime. Who wants to start grilling? Giving away a grill. All you have to do is call me and you get entered into the drawing. That's it.
That's it?
Just call me
My phone's
and
going to
you
be
get
blowing
entered in
up.
the drawing.
Yeah.
Let me say it again.
How do I enter the drawing?
Yeah.
There's a purposeful pause there. I'm giving away a Traeger grill. It's like $500. If you want to be entered in the drawing, which we held at this date and time on Facebook Live, just gotta call me. One entry per call. Just you only enter once, just one call. Your phone will blow up, and when they call, say, "Great, you're entered. Want to buy or sell real estate?" All inbounds. Your contact rate is amazing versus having to slog through outbounds to speak to somebody. Now, there's some rules and laws with sweepstakes that I wrote in this email, but I'm going to date this. We record, I'm sure. I'm going to dictate the email for you to send to your database right now, and then we'll end the show. Does that sound good, guys?
Perfect.
All right, send this out. You guys want calls? Here's how to do it. Subject line: I'm giving away a free X. Let's call it a Traeger grill for summer. Sound good? Clients and friends. I want to give back and create some excitement for my friends and clients who subscribe to my emails. Thank you for reading these and staying on my list. I'm giving away a free Traeger grill. The prize is valued at $498. Literally, here on Amazon. Traeger is not affiliated with, sponsoring, endorsing, or administering this giveaway in any way. Giant picture of the prize. To win the prize, simply call me at this number by this date and time between the hours of X and X. Leave your name and contact information on my voicemail to enter yourself in the drawing, and you can answer to. That's it. You can also write me at this address to enter for the giveaway. There's no purchase necessary. It's free to enter. The winner will be chosen live on Facebook by my colleague, Ashley, at this date and time, randomly. My assistant will inspect the entries prior to drawing. If there are technical issues, the drawing will be held alternately on this conference line at this number. The giveaway starts today at this time, and the deadline to enter is by this date and time. That is a firm deadline. There's only one entry allowed per person. Everyone has the equal opportunity to win. Now, upon winning, we will call you to inform you won the prize the day of drawing. You'll have 30 days to claim the prize, and we'll FedEx the prize, or we'll, in this case, probably Traeger Grill, we'll just order it to you. We'll ship it to you to your provided address at our expense. You will receive a tracking number upon shipment and a release, so we may share your winning status to prove that, of course, we actually awarded the prize. This is a 100% real giveaway. The prize will be awarded, and you can verify it. It's void where prohibited, and you must reside in the USA to be eligible. You are also not eligible for the prize if you're under the age of 18 or you're my family, an employee, or a contractor. If you'd like a copy of the official rules and a copy of our privacy policy, or a list of our past winners, call this number. I am the promoter of the giveaway, and my physical address is this. So call me at this number to enter yourself into the free giveaway drawing right now, between this time and this date, for the Traeger Grill. Tune into my Facebook page live at this time, at this date and time, to watch the live drawing to see if you win. Let's have some fun. Cliff Friedman.
I love it. Frank, what a great way to end the show. Man, it is so nice to see you again and have you here. What a great episode, Mr. Friedman.
Yeah, we're going to have to get together with Frank again soon here.
Very, very soon.
Yeah, that was fun.
Frank, I do have to run, but will you promise you'll come back on real soon again? And I know we didn't even scratch the surface of what we can talk about, but I'd love to have you back on soon. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this, give us some thumbs up. Give us some love out on social media out there. We love you guys. And stay warm, stay tuned, and have fun. Good golf, good tennis. Stay out of the rain. And we'll see you next week right here on Cliff's Notes. All right, folks, tune in to Cliff's Notes every Thursday at 1 o'clock Central for the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business. I guarantee it.